Canada has announced it will recognise Palestine as a state at the United Nations General Assembly in September. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says the recognition is predicated on the Palestinian Authority's commitment to democratic reforms and on Hamas having no involvement in a future Palestinian state. With more, I'm joined by North America correspondent Cayman Gock now from Washington. Hi there, Cayman. So what do we know about this announcement?
Well, this is a significant statement. It makes Canada the third G7 country in recent days to announce its intentions to formally recognise a state of Palestine. Now, the Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, said there would need to be certain conditions met by the Palestinian Authority for this to follow through, but that Canada intends to do this at the United Nations General Assembly in New York in September. Now, France has already said it intends to do so as well, as to the United Kingdom. The UK said it would recognise a state of Palestine unless Israel agreed to a ceasefire and other certain conditions. There are nearly 150 countries around the world that already recognise formally a state of Palestine. Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, condemned the Israeli government for allowing, he says, a humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. Here is him talking, laying out the certain conditions that would need to be met for this to take place.
This intention is predicated on the Palestinian Authority's commitment to much-needed reforms, including commitments by the Palestinian Authority's President Abbas to fundamentally reform its governance, to hold general elections in 2026 in which Hamas can play no part, and to demilitarize the Palestinian state. Canada will increase its efforts in supporting strong democratic governance in Palestine and the contributions of its people to a more peaceful and hopeful future.
This announcement adds to the growing international pressure on Israel as a starvation crisis takes place in Gaza. Now, the Israeli government has responded to this statement by Canada. It has rejected it, and it has said that by Canada doing this, it would reward Hamas. Now, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu recently said there is no starvation in Gaza. That statement has been widely rejected by the United Nations, by a plethora of world leaders, including US President Donald Trump, who acknowledged that children are starving in Gaza, and he said, you can't fake that. And also multiple humanitarian agencies. Now, in Gaza, more than 60,000 people have died, according to its health authorities, as this war continues nearly 2 years since Hamas launched its attack on Israel.